All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning back into Psych Word. You are now on the couch with Rob Gerard. And on the line right now from Big Brother Season 15, we have J-U-D-D Judd. Judd, what's going on, man?
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing today?
Well, we're happy to have you on, man. J-U-D-D, the party animal.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. So, I mean, Judd, you were a fan favorite, okay, from Season 15. I mean, what was your reaction to all the fans once you officially left the house in Big Brother and you saw what was going on, like, in America?
Well, I didn't really know what to expect. I mean, counting sequestered, I wasn't around anybody besides Big Brother people for 97 days. So it was kind of nerve-wracking, not really knowing what was shown on television, what my family might have seen on the feeds, I was kind of I wasn't worried about some of the things that other people should have had to worry about, I guess. But, it's still just kind of a scary feeling. It was almost like I didn't even want to get back to a regular life because it was so scary. But then I came out and went straight to Vegas, which, I'm from a 2 red light town, so I went straight to Vegas. There's tourists everywhere there, so everybody was recognizing me because it was like 2 days after my finale. And it was a little surreal, kind of overwhelming at first, but then I got used to it, and it was a lot of fun. The fans of Big Brother are the best fans ever. Like, I don't know, I just got a lot of love. And then whenever I got home and see my friends and family, I just couldn't believe it, like everyone watched. I wasn't even sure if my friends and family would watch, and they even watched the live feeds, the After Dark, they watched everything. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
they knew more about what happened than I did.
Yeah, the Big Brother fans, man, they are fanatics. Now, let me ask you, how long from after you left the house did it take before you rewatched the whole season, or have you?
Well, I planned on never watching the season. That was my plan. I was like, I'm pretty cool with everyone, so I don't want to listen to their diary room sessions where they're talking crap about me, all that kind of stuff. I was like, let's just let it be. But then I started having interviews, and they're asking me questions. I didn't really know what they were talking about and stuff, so I first started just looking at clips on like YouTube and stuff, and then one of my buddies had recorded all of the episodes for me. And so a few people were over and they wanted to watch it with me, and I was like, all right, we'll watch a little bit. And so it took probably a couple of months for me to watch the whole entire season. I didn't want to watch it, but once I started watching it, I kind of got addicted, and it was like, oh, what were they thinking? And, oh, now I see, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Like, I don't know, it made things make sense to me a little bit more, so it's odd. It's kind of like listening to yourself on a...
Now, you were a part of the most controversial Big Brother season ever. I mean, the things that were, they were putting out, disclaimers at the beginning of episodes when they had never done that before. I mean, every day, every morning after an episode of Big Brother, it was trending, like what happened on Big Brother. And now, while you were playing the game, were you aware kind of who the fan favorites might have been, and that maybe McCranda and a couple of the others were like so hated?
Yeah, well, I mean, just, I don't know, a little bit of common sense in the game, I've watched the show since I was, I guess, 13 years old. I don't know, since season 1, and I've even watched the Canadian season, so I mean, I've watched the After Dark, but I've not always been like a feeder. I watched some of the Canadian feeds because they were free. Now I've really gotten into the feeds, but people see what we're doing and saying 24/7, and I mean, some of the things that people were saying, we're well past that now. I think pretty much everyone from my show has apologized and stuff, and I kind of put it behind them, and they learned a lot, so I'm not going to diss them because they've learned a lot, and I think that they've learned from their mistakes, and, that's a good thing. I mean, at least that happened. Maybe it wouldn't have happened if they wasn't on the show, I mean, it's still very disheartening that it did happen in general, though, like, regardless if somebody learned something or not. There's just some things you don't say. It's just common sense and common courtesy, I mean, not just to the people that were in our house, but to our viewers, because, I wouldn't want to be offended about something and not want to watch the show anymore, and I'm sure some people did that, and, I hated that we had that dark cloud over our season because I tried so hard to get on Big Brother. I just wanted to play the game. It wasn't that I just wanted to be on TV. I wanted to play Big Brother, And so I had tried so many times to make the show. I finally make it, and then we're like...
It was probably the most highly publicized season of all time, though. So, regardless of the dark cloud, you know... No, absolutely.
Gameplay or something, then I would be so proud. But I mean, it's hard to be proud of something like the ratings being high for something so bad. You know, like if it was for something good, I would be more proud. But it's hard to be proud of something. I mean, I'm proud that I was on the show, you know, and I'm proud of how I acted for the most part. I mean, of course, I slipped up a few times. I didn't say as bad things as I heard other people say, and then a lot of things I didn't hear until after the show, because I wouldn't be in the room or something like that, you know. So I was a little surprised myself whenever I had heard the words that came out of some individuals' mouths. But like I said, that was a long time ago, and certain people have learned, I know for sure. But you know, I can only speak for myself and just say, you know, I wish that we were season would have been a little bit more popular based on gameplay rather than racial issues and homophobic issues and, you know, derogatory comments and everything.
Now, Judd, how much editing and how much reality is there in this? What's the balance? I mean, is everything see on TV what really happens, or do they kind of put their own spin on it to make the story the way the producers want it to be?
No, I mean, it really happens. It's the realest show ever. You know, I talked to people from other reality shows, and the things that they told me, I was like, damn, I'm so glad that didn't happen on our show. You know, like, our show was really real. Like, we weren't influenced on anything that we did. You know, I wish we were, because it could have helped me out a little bit. You know, maybe I could have had a heads up about my lines turning on me. But, no, it's what you see is what you get. And, I mean, you have to understand for them to... What I meant by storyline is they have to make it make sense. They can't just put random things that happen into an episode, because people will be like, why'd they just show that?
Judd, when you're in the diary room, right, and you're kind of giving you're talking into the camera and whatnot, now are the producers showing you clips from what had just happened? Like when they're talking about, say, you know, the Battle of the Block or something, and it just happened, because it seems like the players have such a good memory of exactly what happened. It's almost like they just watched a clip and then they want your statement on it.
No, what it is, normally you do your diary rooms within a couple of hours after doing a competition. You know what I mean? So, no, there's not even a TV in there. All that's in there is, like, a camera right in front of you. There's no people in there, nothing. Like, all you see is a camera in front of you. It adjusts however it needs to adjust.
Wow, there's no one even in there with you? It almost seems like, because when people get in the diary room, they're so fired up, and it really seems like they're kind of getting coached, even if it's just, you know, in the questions they're getting asked. You know what I mean? It kind of seems like there's some kind of...
Yeah, I think, like, for me, I'm kind of a mumbler and stuff. So, like, whenever I'm talking about something important or talking in the diary room, you know that's probably going to be on television. So, you know, you want to speak as clearly as possible, and I guess that's why it seems that way. You know, people are trying to amp up. Nobody wants to have crappy diary room sessions, you know, because that's what a lot of people remember is people's DRs every season. You know, like Brittany from season 12, you know, she had some of the best DRs ever. She was hilarious, you know, so people wanted to do good on their DRs, but nobody even coaches you anything. Like, you're not even looking at anybody. You're just, you know, they might ask you a question and you just answer it, but I mean, you want to answer it the best that you can, you know, and kind of have fun with it, because that's kind of the fun thing about Big Brother is the diary room sessions, because I mean, sometimes they're annoying, like if it's really early in the morning or right after you went to sleep and they call you in, but it's kind of an escape, because you can get away from the other house guests for a few minutes, you know.
Now, Big Brother 16, it's on now. How close attention are you paying? I mean, obviously, I'm sure you're watching all the episodes that are on CBS, but are you watching the live feeds? And I see you're active on Twitter. So how invested are you in this season? And how different is it from watching the previous season since you were just on last season?
Oh, my God, it's way different. See, I mean, even going on the show, it's completely different than watching it at home. It's so much harder. You know, it looks so easy whenever you're watching it from your couch. Like, that's what I was saying when I wrote a blog last night. I was like, it's a lot easier to play Big Brother from your couch than it is whenever you're in the house. because you don't know what people are saying in their diary rooms. You don't know what people are saying, like, in the storage room or the bedrooms, and a lot of paranoia kicks in, so I've been watching this season. I didn't know how I was going to think. I was like, am I going to be jealous? Am I going to be excited? I didn't really know how to feel about it because, it's new people and everything. But I was so excited. It's so cool to see new people in the house that I was in. And it looks different and stuff, but it's still the same house, And I don't know. I feel like I watch it differently now. Like, I don't judge them personally like I probably would season 14, before I was on. Because, I know how it feels like to be in there, and what it feels like after you're out, like, I was in there a little longer than the people that have recently got evicted, so I'm sure we kind of had a different experience, but, I know what they're going through, and I thought the same thing when I watched Big Brother Canada, I watch it completely different, and, some people might be like, oh, so-and-so's a floater and stuff. I'm like, no, they might just be waiting to, make a move whenever they need to. Like, they're just staying off the radar right now. Like, I don't know. I feel like I watch it different and more respectfully, because we've kind of, I don't know, there's some crazy people, like, on social media and stuff, they still hate us over game moves. So I'm like, last year, I'm like, oh, like, have a regular life. I'm not playing Big Brother right now, so kind of lay off on me a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like, you should have used the veto on Alyssa. And I'm like, all right, that was a year ago. Sorry. I should have probably, but I didn't,
Now, Judd, who are you rooting for this season?
Oh, that's a really tough question because I like so many. I feel like it's a really likable cast.
Well, yeah, I mean, Devin was probably was the enemy for a good week or two. He was the most hated in the house. I would probably even say by America, and now he's out, and it seems like it's kind of maybe shifting to Caleb. It's like you don't know where it's going. Yeah,
I mean, I think America in general wants someone to hate.
Absolutely.
On a reality show.
In the house, too. And no matter what it is, whether if it's Survivor or Big Brother, it seems like, I know if I was in the Big Brother house, I would jump on board with hating anyone as long as it wasn't me. It's easy to have a target because you're not it. Yeah,
the house is always looking for a scapegoat, someone to be against. Devin, he was my least favorite player, that's not a big surprise. But, as a player, I was saying to myself, like, watching the show, or to my friends, actually, I was like, man, they should really think about this and keep Devin and get rid of Caleb, because Caleb he's so obsessed with Amber that even though they're not in a showmance, she doesn't like him. He's going to save her any chance that he gets, so it's basically like having a showmance in there. Devin has nobody, and he's always going to have a bigger target on his head than other people.
If they voted out Caleb, Devin would have just been the target next week. So 2 power players right there.
Yeah, you always have a bigger target in the house. And then, like, I thought the same thing whenever Zach and Pow were up against each other. It's like, man, Zach's a good player. He's almost like, Dr. Will would make jokes like, I hate all of you, and people would laugh. Zach said the same thing. People just laugh, and they vote out a weak girl instead of him, and he seems like a really good player, so.
What Devin did wrong, I think, was the same thing that Jeremy did wrong last season. It was like you establish yourself too early as that guy. You know what I mean? Like you want to play kind of a low key game, and people were getting on Victoria about that in this last week's show. And it's like, you know what? Victoria might be the smartest player in the house because she's barely ever on TV. She's not really involved in anything, and she's just kind of floating along. And that's the kind of person that could make it to the end. You know what I mean? That's kind of what Gina Marie did. That's what Spencer did, really, right?
Yeah, anytime I've seen her on the feeds or After Dark, she's just been telling, like, silly stories. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's I think that's pretty good, because it keeps people laughing. That's kind of social play. You're always playing the game, whether it looks like it or not. Like, even just little conversations are gameplay, because...
Well, and that's what they did with Devin. And Devin knew immediately. The second they didn't put him on the block, he knew he was getting backdoored.
Oh, yeah. He knew, like, there's like a feeling, and plus there's like a vibe that you get from people. Like, I know the second time whenever McCray won the POV and he was against the Exterminators and myself, I knew that I was going to go home, because I knew that I could get the jury votes over any of the people left. Maybe I thought McCray was really my only competition, you know. I didn't even think Andy would have been competition, honestly, at the time, you know. So it's just how people look at you and how they act a little bit different. Like, it's not that they're rude. It's just a feeling that you can get from their body language. They don't really look you in the eye and stuff. Like, you know you're going home, you know?
Definitely.
You know, and then plus, with him getting put up as a replacement, you know, it's blatantly obvious. So I'm rooting for so many people. I really like Cody. I like him a lot, and also like Hayden and Nicole and Donnie. Who doesn't like Donnie?
Donnie. I mean, he has to be America's favorite at this point, right?
Yeah,
How could he not be? This guy is so. You just want to give him a hug.
Yeah. I want to hang out with him. Like, me and Papa have already been talking about it. Like, they're going to come to Tennessee after the show's over and everything. So, you know, I guess she just made up his mind for him, you know, because, well, he just lives in Carolina. But, yeah, he's one of my favorites. I also really like Amber, and she's from my area. She's from Knoxville. It's like 30 minutes from me. I think she lives in California now. But, you know, I always kind of liked her just for that reason, you know, that...
Now let me ask you. Okay, we're gonna go to some Twitter questions now because we had put it out there. We got some Twitter questions. This one's from Gwen. She wants to know if being the self-proclaimed party animal worked for you or against you in the house, or maybe it didn't at all. How do you feel?
Oh, it didn't at all. You know, like, I kind of wanted to go into the game. Like, I didn't really have a set strategy because I didn't know who I was going to be playing with.
We got another Twitter question here. Do you get laid a lot from being on the show?
No comment.
I'd imagine that it doesn't hurt.
No, it doesn't hurt, but it doesn't help as much as you would think, actually. I mean, because I'm still in a small town. I know everybody here and stuff.
Who came out to your town from the show?
Well, I had 2 different times. McCray, Amanda, Jeremy, Nick.
Now, McCranda, they're not together anymore, right?
No, they've been broken up for a while, and they're actually dating other people now, I think.
I mean, I think all of America saw that one coming.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he was just a pizza boy, you know what I mean? And I mean, really, if you think about it, if McCray didn't win that initial HOH, Amanda would have never drifted to him. Amanda was just looking to drift to anyone in power at that time.
Yeah, I think that she had actually even kind of had her eyes on Nick at first, if I'm not mistaken, like from the early episodes, like before she got with McCray, which was like not true anyways, but I guess for a few seconds she had said something about Nick. It's been so long since I've seen like the first episode. That's the coolest for me to watch. Those like the really old ones whenever we didn't really know each other yet and stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, I could say, and McCray, he's not a pizza boy anymore. He's got a really good job. I talk to him about it every day. Today's actually his birthday, so.
Now I have one more. I have another Twitter question from Megan. Did you ever get any money or free clothes from the Grizzly Bear T-shirt company?
No, not at all. Actually, they had discontinued selling the shirt.
Wow.
I don't know. See, I had got it in December before Big Brother, so I mean, I guess, you know, by the time like I started Big Brother in June, that's whenever I moved in, so, you know, that's a long time for them to keep a certain shirt in stock, so I don't know what happened to it after that, but Walmart stops carrying them, and I don't know, they just kind of fell off the map. People had a hard time finding them, you know, like.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. Well, Judd, thank you very much for coming on Psych Word. We appreciate you taking all that time, and tell our fans real quick how can they contact you and where can they read your blogs? You
can find me on Twitter at Judd Nation, also on Instagram at JuddNationBB15. I also write on BigBrotherNetwork.com. I write some blogs. It's basically my thoughts on what's going on Big Brother 16, who I'm liking, who I'm not liking, what moves I think should have been made, or, you know, it's just my thoughts on the show. Also, I do a weekly thing on JuddNation.com. So just follow me on Twitter at JuddNation. I'll keep you posted on all these.
Absolutely. Well, Judd, thank you very much for coming on Psych Word. JUDD, party animal.
Thanks, Judd.
Woo! Thanks for having me, guys. Y'all are the best.